بدي أعذبكم ناخد أماكننا لحتى نبلش بالتكنولوجي بانل، وإذا في مجال نسكر الباب حنحبسكم معنا اليوم، ما في حدا يفل مطرح. رح خبركم شيء عن وقت كنت عم بلش حضر لهيدا البانل شو كنت عم بعمل. ما تركت ولا مجلة ولا ويب سايت خاصهم بالتكنولوجي إلا ما فتشت فيهم. كنت عم جرب لاقي فكرة ملفتة تقدر دكتور تلفت انتباهكم اليوم. عادة بالLDE نحن معودين على النظام. فكنت عم جرب لاقي الفكرة اللي تكون ملفتة، بعدين لقيت كم فكرة بس ما كانوا كافيين. فقررت انه نرجع على المجتمع اللبناني، لانه نحن عايشين بمجتمع فيه جيل بعده بيسمي السيارة مكنة، وفيه جيل المرة الوحيدة اللي رح يضطر يستعمل فيها القلم لحد هلا اتليست هو لما بده يمضي اسمه. وبين هول الجيلين في اجيال من العباقرة والمفكرين اللبنانية اللي عم بيغيروا صورة العالم مش بس لبنان. رح نتعرف اليوم على بعض هالعباقرة والمفكرين والمبتكرين، أكيد مع حفظ الألقاب. رح نبدأ بالأشخاص المقيمين بلبنان. معنا بداية شخص بحب أعرف عنه ب4 كلمات: تكنولوجيا صنعت في لبنان. فادي ضو هو رئيس مجلس إدارة شركة مالتي لين. رح أترك لك الكلام، نحن كل متحدث رح يكون عنده 5 دقايق، رح يكون كتير ثقيلة بموضوع تنظيم الوقت. بعتذر منكم بس لحتى نترك مجال لناخد أسئلة بالآخر. تفضل فادي.
So first, if we can just help me with the slides. Okay, thanks. Just a little background. I left Lebanon in 1981 during the war. I left to the States for education as an engineer. Let me see how that works. Can someone please? Oh. Can someone help with that, please? Okay. In the US, I got my education in Boston, and during the past 20 years, I started my path in the high-tech enterprise or starting companies. I started 3 companies in Boston, venture-backed. Then in 2006, I returned to Lebanon after the war, after the 2006 war, mainly with a strong passion to help create technology and products from Lebanon to the global market. Established my multi-lane in my hometown and village of Humail. And today multi-lane is growing. I'll tell you a little bit about it with few slides. My dream, my passion, my dream is to help put Lebanon on the countries that produce technology globally. Today multi-lane has 45 engineers in Lebanon. We have offices both in Taiwan and Silicon Valley, totally about 60 people, I would say, all in all. We've released already 100 products that we sell to the global market, to all companies around the world, from Japan to the US to Europe. We have over 500 customers. Our customers include Google, Facebook, Amazon, Cisco, Intel, all the semiconductor companies in the world, all the data center companies in the world. And we are in a very strong leadership position with most of these companies today. Our revenue has been close to doubling year over year. I would say our average for the past 7 years, it's 80% compounded annual growth rate. And we're expanding. The products that we build are instrumentation as well as network adapters for the data center market. Those are all made in Lebanon. They're all designed in Lebanon. Of course, we fabricate them in various factories around the world, but effectively we bring them back to Lebanon and we export them from Lebanon to the global market. And these are pictures among some of the 100 products that we make out of the village. I say out of the village, but that's with pride. No, before we get in there. Okay. The market that we address, there's latency here. I don't know why. Okay. Would you please help me? Thanks. So just let's circulate it because it's not, please. Okay. The market that we address, that we focus on, is mainly the data center, and all the technology that goes into. Can we go to the next one? Yeah. We've gone too fast. Back one. Oh, there's something's missing. Okay, that's fine. Yes, that one. So the technology that we produce is used mainly for qualifying all the technology that goes into the data center. So our customers are the hyperscale data centers, Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Oracle, and our other customers are the system vendors, the Ciscos, the Nokias, the Arista, Juniper, and the blade vendors, as well as the semiconductor vendors, and so on and so forth, and all technology that goes in. So those make up about 500 customers of the people we address and we serve today. So today we've doubled our workforce yearly. We have more growth opportunities to address and solve problems in the data center far beyond what the capacity that we have today. So we are on a path, and we've been on a path to develop a campus for high-tech companies. 30 seconds, okay. You're gonna miss. So we're developing a campus in Humail, which will encompass an incubator, host for corporate companies, as well as a training facility, thank you, as well as training facilities and so on. And we believe we'll be able to create 500 to 1,000 jobs in the next 4 years. And one key thing about this market, I've listened to the academia present and focusing mainly on helping entrepreneurship for the students that are graduating. I believe we need to further support or adapt the training that they get from academia, which is theoretical training, to applied training, because there is a need in the market for solving the problems of the data center and technology company. There's a problem of needing tens of thousands of engineers. I don't think we have enough. So I oppose to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. كل افساح المجال امام الشباب بهذا الموضوع اكيد هو بحاجه لاصلاحات بلبنان. ياسمينة الخوري رفايل هي سيده فعلا متميزه بمجال الاقتصاد اللي تخصصت فيه، واليوم هي بتشغل منصب مستشاره رئيس الحكومه اللبنانيه لشؤون الاقتصاد. ياسمينة بدنا نسالك شوي، ليش اليوم عم نعطي اهميه كثير كبيره للستارت ابس؟ والخمس دقائق بلشوا.
Is it working? Yes. Okay. Thank you. First of all, allow me to congratulate His Excellency Mr. Nicolas Tsahnaoui and all the team at LDE for a very successful conference. I'm very glad to be here with you today. So in this age of technological revolution, as the panel so eloquently put it, our motto is really to work together to put Lebanon back on a path of prosperity, job creation, and inclusive growth. So why are we interested in startups and innovation? We believe that in Lebanon we have all the right ingredients. We have a very entrepreneurial private sector, highly skilled, highly educated. We have an open economy. We have an excellent banking system with financial expertise that cannot be matched in the region. And we also have a very successful and loyal diaspora. So given all of this, Lebanon has come a long way in enabling its startup and innovation ecosystem. Just to give you a bit of the steps that we went through. First of all, we've had the establishment of Kafalat and the ISME project there. We've also had the establishment of the CMA and the Beirut Stock Exchange, as well as an economic unit, SME unit at the Ministry of Economy and Trade. It goes without saying that without the 331 circular from BDL, none of this would have been possible. We also have excellent private sector entrepreneurs who have set up incubators and accelerators all over Lebanon. In addition to a growing number of investment funds who believe in Lebanese potential. And let's not forget the world-class startups that are coming out of Lebanon. And we've had many success stories such as Shahia, Fu, Diwani, and without mentioning Multilane, who's here with us today. So, given all this, Lebanon's ecosystem has come a long way. However, we still have a long way to go. We know that this is a process and the process takes time. And we all know that ecosystems are not born overnight. So the momentum has been launched, and now it's our turn to help, to give direction and to give perseverance. So then you ask yourself, what is the government's role in such an ecosystem, and what are we doing? The first thing that comes to mind, I think, is legislation. The government has a role to play. It has to provide coherent, modern, and supportive legislation. So we've drafted a number of laws at the Prime Minister's office with the private sector and with international organizations such as the World Bank. We have a new law on bankruptcy. We have a new law on secure transactions, a new law on judicial mediation, and a new law on private equity funds. These laws are all ready to be submitted to Cabinet. And they go hand in hand with laws that we've already submitted to Parliament, which are amendments to the Code of Commerce and a new preferred shares law. Now, as we all know, legislative change in Lebanon takes time. However, given the dialogue that we have in government, we're optimistic that it's going to be an efficient process. The second thing that comes to mind is infrastructure. Here, the Ministry of Telecom is working very hard to improve access to internet, to reduce cost, and to increase speed. The third thing is financing. We all know how important financing is at every stage of a startup's life. And BDL has really been the cornerstone here. It's provided an excellent initiative with this BDL 331, which has really transformed the ecosystem in Lebanon.
Your recommendations in 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So just very briefly, we're also looking at startup support. We have a business support unit at IDAL, a one-stop shop for business registration at the commercial registry. We're also looking at a branding program, and of course looking at R&D and skill development, so education. So basically, what I'd like to say is that we're here, we're listening to you. The private sector, the youth, the diaspora, you are the engines of our economy, and we want to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. موضوع الستارت ابس اللي تحدثت عنه هو بصلب عمل كريم قبيسي اللي قادر يجمع بين مجال هندسة الاتصالات والقانون. خبرنا شوي عن UK Tech Hub وخبرنا كيف عم تخلقوا فرص للشباب اللبناني بانهم يبلشوا بالستارت ابس. ال5 دقائق بلشوا.
انا مش هحكي عن UK Tech Hub بوجود الشيرمان تبع UK Tech Hub مع الوزير سحناوي. So كيف just to change the slide. Okay. لا تعطيني اياه please. Sorry. Thank you. So, the question I would like to ask is Lebanon ready to be part of the fourth industrial revolution? My answer is yes, definitely Lebanon can be part and contribute to this fourth industrial revolution. So if we look at the previous revolutions, and just to summarize, the first industrial revolution, we had the use of water and steam power in order to mechanize the production process. In the second one, we used electric power in order to create mass production. In the third one, we used information technology in order to automate the production process. And for obvious reasons, most of you know, obviously, Lebanon was not able to be part of these revolutions because Lebanon is a small country with a small population, with no natural resources. So Lebanon was really on the consuming end of any production cycle. But now comes a fourth revolution, a fourth industrial revolution, a digital revolution, where not only the digital capabilities are used in order to enhance or make the production more efficient, but also in pushing the limits to what people or individuals can do in getting into completely new fields that did not exist a few years ago. And here we can say that Lebanon is ready to be part of of this because it has all the elements that are needed to be a player in the digital revolution. It has a qualified human capital. It has a cultural diversity that make Lebanese sensitive to different cultures and ideas, and therefore be able to be innovative and creative. It has a young population. More than 25% of Lebanese are under the age of 15, so this is a generation that can dream and can really push things forward. It allows the free movement of capital, a favorable legal environment, and hopefully with the legislative amendments or the laws that will be passed soon, the environment will become even more favorable. And most importantly, it has the freedom of expression, without which no one can claim to be innovative or creative. But these elements are not enough. So some elements were missing. And these elements quickly were the infrastructure, the clusters of innovation, and capital. And I had the privilege and the honor to contribute to the three of them in the last few years, starting with the Ministry of Telecom under the leadership of Minister Sahnawi, where we have put a lot of effort and work in developing the infrastructure. And we can say that Lebanon has a decent infrastructure that can support the digital revolution. Not all of the infrastructure is online yet, but soon it will become.
Your recommendations in 1 minute, please.
Yeah,
صوت الضمير.
Yeah, okay. So the second thing is the clusters of innovation, and just quickly creating digital zones where we put together all the players. And Mohammed Rabah now will speak about his project, the Beirut Digital District, which was the pilot project for the digital zones that were created or initiated by the Ministry of Telecom. And third, the capital, and mostly the initiative of the central bank, the Circular 331, that put $500 million at the service of innovation in Lebanon. So I will go quickly through this circular. Basically, the banks will be allowed to invest up to 4% or the equivalent of 4% of their equity in the equity of companies. In return, they will have a guarantee. The central bank will guarantee up to 75% of the investment, and in return, the banks will split the profit with BDL 50-50. This has put, until today, $250 million in this economy, and there is still more, $250 million more that will come and be injected in the knowledge economy. So as a recommendation, like what I would like to say is that we have really, in Lebanon, we have the ability to be part of the digital revolution, and we need the help of the diaspora to contribute to this revolution, in the sense that it can come and invest, it can come and rely on the Lebanese talents that we have here. And digital revolution is not only in order to be part of the production cycle, but we can claim that the digital revolution will help reform the Lebanese political system and really build a democratic country. I will not elaborate on this, maybe in the Q&A if you're interested to ask why and how. Thank you.
ثانك يو كريم. وبعتقد كريم يمكن اخذ عني مهمه التعريف بمسيو محمد رباح. تفضل خبرنا عن حلم كل انا اعطيتك 30 ثانيه زياده بدل اللي ضاعوا بالاول. لكن محمد معك رح نعرف اكثر عن بيروت ديجيتال ديستريكت.
بس قبل ما حنبلش هيك بسمول موفي that gives the vision that we would like to share with you. هالرؤية اللي بلشت من 4 سنين بال 2012 وانطلقت بالتعاون مع وزارة الاتصالات يلي كان وقتها بيترأسها معالي الوزير صحناوي ومع المحامي كريم قبيسي لإنشاء مناطق رقمية بكل محافظة من بيروت، لأنه هذا هو مستقبل لبنان. بعرف عن حالي محمد رباح, General Manager of ZRE, a privately owned company that we believe in building communities. لأنه اليوم just it's not real estate, it's building communities. Wherever we go, هي كيف الواحد يجمع العالم.
شباب ساعدونا بالفيديو بليز.
هو المحسوبين من 5 دقائق
هول رح شيلهم ما تعتل. اخذت دقيقة زيادة كريم ما تشريح.
I will skip وبعدين نرجع له. So just to give our vision كانت الأساس هو reviving باشورا district. I don't know how many of you knows the باشورا district يلي هي المنطقة يلي بنسميها the point zero of Lebanon. intersection north and south, east and west اللي هي كانت لخطوط التماس يلي بعد أول طلعت بشارع الخوري منطقة اليوم معروف كمان حتى بخندق الغميق. كانت الدولة ما فايت عليها من 1975. Since 1975 no one had stepped foot inside it. And our vision was to build an innovative cluster to attract 10,000 dynamic creative talents for Lebanon to be collaborating together, working into the IT, ICT, digital, media, architects, knowledge-based industries. From there, we had 5 pillars that we will work on. Community, put like-minded people. This is the strength that Lebanon has. This is the strength that Lebanon graduates and exports on a yearly basis. On a yearly basis, the most important thing that we export is the brain drain. And we want to keep this brain drain here. Why? Our belief as ZRE, we can become a production hub. This is the role that Lebanon has. It's produced from here, put them the right infrastructure, put them together, we have the money, we have the mentors, we have the successful people, let them share ideas and grow together. And as they grow, we grow with them. Second is business cluster. We help companies focus on their core ideas and we take care of everything which is time consuming services. معاملات مع المالية البلدية لحتى الواحد ما يقدر بس يقدر يركز على الكور idea تبعه. The third is sustainable environment. The fourth is work, live and play balance to transform it. So just centrally located after the Martyr Square and bringing life to what was. This is just a sample of our campus. That's how it was 4 years ago. No one had stepped foot inside it. And imagine the power of people, of Lebanese people, and the people that believed in transforming this area into what is currently hosting 70 companies, 1,300 community members, from ICT startups. Our aim is to double in size within the upcoming 3 years. Our aim in the 15 years is to have 10,000 dynamic creative talents working, living, and playing at BDD. These are samples. So our community is our biggest strength. We work, and this is what's needed. It's needed to collaborate in Lebanon. It's needed that Lebanese collaborate between each other to achieve. So we're 8 buildings, 70 companies, 5 incubators that accelerate 23 incubated companies per year, 60 startups, 3 venture capital firms, and we're putting really that ecosystem to become an innovation cluster where the image of Lebanon, everything is produced, and sales becomes not only to the region, but to the world through you and connection with the Lebanese diaspora. So we give services, and we venture from medium-sized companies to international companies such as Uber, Cervantes, and multi-other PinPay success stories that are present. And we ask every company to be involved by helping the new startups so that they mentor them to success. And this is how Lebanese should be able, and this is where we are invited to become of this new transformation of Lebanon and the hope of being the new Lebanon. Our mentors that have successfully grew their companies from 20 to some of them are 100 employee companies working from BDD on a daily basis. Yeah. Yeah. So other type is hackathons. Our link is events. The main thing we want we are doing BDD at the center of innovation and events. We hosted more than 150 events last year, and currently the main pipeline for BDD is education. And we are linking with universities to attract graduating talents to the startups that are working at BDD to help them also know what's the new ideas, and link with the universities so that they develop their R&D and grow exponentially.
The video is ready whenever you want.
Last thing, yeah. So our video is ready. So let's.
Imagine a place in Beirut, Lebanon. dedicated to innovation and creativity, where ideas are formed, where entrepreneurs are born, meant to inspire, challenge, empower. A unique ecosystem where creative talents connect, interact, and flourish. A place vibrating with ideas, plans, and energy. Where the impossible becomes possible. This is a unique, one-of-a-kind community. This is BDD.
To end, imagine this transformation in 4 years from no man's land to 1,300 community members with the current infrastructure that Lebanon has. And this is due to the company's resilience and the power of the people that we have. Imagine with the changes that the government is planning to do, the high-speed internet, the lowering of the cost, we are on the verge of an exponential growth in this sector, and we invite the Lebanese abroad to come back here, invest in Lebanon, and build their own companies by employing Lebanese that will work, live, and play in Lebanon. Thank you.
Thank you. ماريو هاشم اللي رح نكون عم نسمعه هلا هو معروف بانه ذا شارك بمجال الابس والتكنولوجي بلبنان وهو مؤسس تدموب. ماريو.
Thank you. Hi. Before I start my presentation, while preparing it, I'd like to share with you that I have a twin brother, actually a copy-paste, who left 10 years ago to France. He lives in South France, and he became a professor in applied mathematics. Every time my brother asks me why you stay in Lebanon, so شو بعدك عم تعمل? So actually I graduated 14 years ago as a computer and communication engineer, and back then I discovered something very big in Lebanon, which is our educational system. Okay, we have a great educational system. We have great talents in Lebanon, and we have great engineers. Our tech community is so big and so competitive comparing to other tech communities, and we can develop and support any international clients because we have this great talent. Imagine in Beirut alone, we have 18 tech campuses. Imagine the huge amount of engineers that are graduating every year. So, to confirm that, Lebanon is considered the home of great talent engineering. Yes, we have great developers, and many companies work with us because we are fluent in Arabic, English, and French. This is very important for you as an expat community to trust the developers in Lebanon and work with us. So my presentation today is not about what we do, it's about what we can offer to the expat community as the Lebanese ecosystem. And this is a great message for you guys to come back and support our developers in Lebanon. That being said, yes, we have around 3,000 engineers graduating every year. We have the most competitive technical skills in the region, and we also have quality developers comparing to other community and comparing to the cost. So I will end by saying that we are expert also in telecom industry. Many top company in telecom has C-levels are Lebanese in the region. We also are the best app and game developers in the region. We occupy the top media and telecom position in the region as well. Of course, we are bold and resistant, and we always succeed despite all the large obstacles that we have in Lebanon. So I confirm that we do really have Lebanese geeks in Lebanon. So my message to you guys, what can we or what can the Lebanese ecosystem offer the expat community? Based on our professional experience in TEDMOB, in our company, you as expat can easily start outsourcing your projects to Lebanon. We have the language, we have the experts, we have the quality, and we have everything to be able to develop your projects and be able to develop your platforms. That's why I invite you to start outsourcing to Lebanon. Sorry, I need to go back. Okay, so second part that we witness in our company is that many international companies we invite them to set up their back office in Lebanon, a small subsidiary of their company in Lebanon, which will allow them to have great support, great talent, and great development with lower cost and better quality. And with the hype of the startups and ecosystem in Lebanon, we reach a mature level of startups and investment. That's why today is the best timing to start investing in our small and medium enterprise and companies. So what is the result for that? Of course, it is a win-win business situation for everyone. You will start witnessing the rise of new startups, especially on the tech ventures. We will mitigate the brain drain. كلنا بنقول بدنا يروحوا الأدمغة لبرا. This way الأدمغة بيبقوا, and we create of course employment and build new alliances مع diaspora and مع international market. Finally, allow me to share the experience on how we did at TEDMOB. We started in 2015 with 4 developers. Today we are 18 Lebanese developers in the company. We became one of the leading company in digital and apps development. And allow me to say that 70% of our clients are international, knowing that we don't need your support in Lebanon. We have all the clients in Lebanon, okay? But to mention that big clients and international clients are already trust our capabilities and work with us. This is a proof on how we did it in TEDMOB. Also, the telecom operators, they need new products, new services, and we already signed with many telecom operators to do that. Finally, we are witnessing greatly a great opportunity in ideas. Everyone in this room maybe has an idea and he wants to develop it, if you are expat or not expat. So we help also the entrepreneurs with an app idea to develop their application, and we execute it and we bring it from idea to life. And this is what happens with His Excellency. In 2015, His Excellency Minister Gibran Bassil has a small idea about developing an application called Lebanon Connect that connects all Lebanese all over the world. It's like the biggest community, digital community like LinkedIn, only for Lebanese. And they selected TEDMOB to develop this. And this is a proof about how much talent we have. We copy-paste something related to LinkedIn, and we build it for the Lebanon all over the world. This application is available on Google and Apple, so I invite you to install it.
ماريو نحن تخطينا الوقت, بدي عزبك تختم.
To summarize, again, if you as an expat community decide to start outsourcing to Lebanon, your projects, or decide to set up your subsidiary or small entities, companies in Lebanon, and willing to invest more in our companies in Beirut, I guarantee that I will not only stay in Lebanon, we might be transform Beirut into another Silicon Valley city. So thank you so much.
Thank you. ورح ننتقل من اللبنانية المقيمين للبنانية المغتربين. لما أحكي عن مجموعة شغورة بحتار صراحة عن أي مجال بدي أحكي، لأنه اسم الله جامعين كل شيء. خلينا اليوم مع كريس شغوري نركز شوي على مشروع رائع اسمه أكو أتلانتيك سيتي. كريس. أوكي بليز فينا نساعد كريس
Echo Atlantic is a unique new city within a city that's being built on a vast area of land reclaimed from the ocean along the coast of Victoria Island in Lagos, Nigeria. More than 6.5 million square meters have so far been recovered from the sea, with an eventual footprint spreading across 10 square kilometers. The bold vision it represents is uncompromising: to become the future financial capital of Africa. Developed with skill and dedication, Echo Atlantic is raising the standard for quality of life in Nigeria. The making of this remarkable city began in 2006, when the developers and city planners, South Energex Nigeria Limited, a subsidiary of the Shiguri Group, was granted permission to build a preliminary sea wall to protect Victoria Island from flooding. But Lagos state governors saw the merit in going much further than that. They implemented an ingenious idea to overcome 100 years of severe coastal erosion while building a new city on reclaimed land at the same time. The once devastated shoreline was not only repaired but re-established to where it once was, 1.5 miles offshore.
Today, a liability has been arrested and is being converted to a great asset of prosperity.
That great asset is here and now in Echo Atlantic. To make it happen, a second sea revetment, longer, wider and much deeper, and now known as the Great Wall of Lagos, was essential if a new city to save the city of Lagos itself was to be constructed. The city is being developed by private financing, with the full backing of both the federal government and Lagos state government.
This is an opportunity to create a new and economically friendly environment. And Lagosians, Nigerians generally are people of very, very exotic taste.
The Great Wall is an 8.5 kilometers long sea barrier, the backbone and guardian of Echo Atlantic. Elaborate testing of its structural design was carried out to the highest standards in Europe. Precise scale modelling proved that the wall could withstand the worst storms expected in 1,000 years. The landfill behind the Great Wall is built up from a mixture of sand and water, which is harvested from the seabed and pumped into target areas, creating about 8,000 square meters of new land every day at full capacity. Not only that, the land self-compacts, making it ideal for construction. As an entirely privately funded enterprise, Echo Atlantic consistently draws attention at the highest political levels, inside and outside Nigeria. In early 2013, at the halfway stage of land reclamation, Echo Atlantic was praised by the former presidents of Nigeria and the United States of America.
The project is a great example of partnership to transform land lost to erosion into a delightful ocean city.
And it will help to diversify the economy of Nigeria, to brand Lagos all over the world, and to create an enormous number of opportunities.
Echo Atlantic holds a place of pride for Nigeria. It is a global city of world-class design and international recognition.
We are on land that has been reclaimed as an asset of prosperity. Today we are at a turning point where the real construction of the city has started. Nigeria is a land of opportunity.
Since then, Echo Atlantic's network of carefully planned infrastructure has been put in place on land so far recovered. Street lighting has also been installed for existing roads and is brilliantly illuminating the night sky. In 2016, Echo Atlantic saw its very first residential tower officially opened and occupied.
The Echo Atlantic project, portends to provide over 350,000 jobs when completed. Beyond the fact that it's going to grow the GDP of Lagos, it only means that other investors will draw from the confidence that the investors have put in that project to continue to grow the economy of Lagos.
If seeing is believing, Echo Atlantic has it all. But it's not until you actually set foot on the solid ground here that the enormity of what's already been achieved can be fully understood and appreciated from all perspectives. There are more than 10 kilometers of stunning waterfront promenade, while boutiques, restaurants and recreational destinations will create ideal conditions to live, work and play for residents and tourists alike. Life in Echo Atlantic will be exciting from the moment you enter this city. Running through this massive development all the way to the sea is Echo Boulevard here. The boulevard is also home to the business district, covering 700,000 square meters of premium real estate. When complete, Echo Atlantic will be a thriving international hub, driving the growth of Africa and establishing a vital new link to the world's economy.
Lagos is that new destination in Africa where investors should pay attention from 2017. And that's why we're ready to take on the world.
To that end, Eco-Atlantic is a designated free zone under a federal government initiative. A vital addition for investors who want to live or conduct business within the city. As Eco-Atlantic reaches out to more and more Nigerians, so too does its reputation and appeal for investment and commercial success. Now is the time to take part in the development of this bold and exciting venture. Discover a city like no other. It is one of a kind. Brent Sadler, Eco-Atlantic, Lagos, Nigeria.
معاليك يعني بعد هيدا الفيديو أنا قررت هاجر صراحة. واو المشروع رائع. جاري خوري بعتقد المكنة اللي حكيت عنها أنا بالأول معك وصلت لمطرح ما له حدود. بلشت بصناعة سيارة بإيديك عن عمر 19 سنة واليوم صار عنا شركة بيفوري للسيارات.
Wow, what a congregation of academics and incredible people from around the world, people that we really underestimated. And congrats to Lebanon and its people. 5 minutes is very short. I've got a 30-year story to tell. I'm not here to promote my business as much as I'd love to, but it's something that we should all be very proud of. I come from very humble beginnings. Way back when I was literally a boy, I was at the age of 19 or 20, when I took on a crazy challenge to design and manufacture a car in my own hands with no outside assistance. That first car lost my friends, lost my families. Everyone went against me, everyone thought I was a lunatic. But when that first car was completed, things changed and everybody wanted to be part of the family again. I'll keep this short. I've got a presentation, but I don't think I can use it. So I'll just try and skip through this as quickly as possible. I started off in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, with my two brothers. We come from Lebanese heritage. My mother and father are both Lebanese. I've been reminded today that I'm first Lebanese. Australia is where I was born. And I currently reside for the last 26 years in Malaysia, where we produce these cars. That's the first car that I ever produced. These cars, no photograph does it before any justice. These cars you've got to see to believe. Our customers are made up of the richest people on the planet. I don't say that lightly. We've done motorsports in all arenas, from rally racing, off-road racing, circuit racing, endurance racing, just to prove the point. Our customers make up royal families, kings, queens, sheiks, prime ministers, and the like. The cars are tailor-made for individuals. We relocated to Malaysia, just to keep it short. We relocated to Malaysia in the early 90s at the invitation of the Prime Minister of Malaysia. And at that time, we also had the King of Malaysia encouraging us to make the relocation. And we thought that if the King and the Prime Minister are prepared to back you up, what better place can you go to? So we took on the challenge. This is a Bufori La Jolla, probably our most successful model ever. We only produce 60 cars a year, for those who want to know. 60 cars a year doesn't sound like a lot of cars, but these are cars that are made purely by hand, no machines. We can make a car in this room, literally. We've got a team or a workforce of 150 people that have been with the company now for almost 25 years. The majority of our workforce has been with us forever. We don't have a high turnover of staff, surprising. And to produce these kind of cars in Malaysia, it's the hardest country in the world to make a car from nothing. We're not an assembler, we're not a replica, we literally design, develop and manufacture a thoroughbred motor vehicle. We buy an engine, we buy a transmission, but that's about it. Okay, so these are serious motor cars. The Bufori Geneva is this one. It's our flagship at the moment. These start at around $380,000 US. It's a car that is packed with every imaginable creature comfort, driver aid and technology you can ever imagine in a motor vehicle. Things from Nespresso coffee machines to a shisha, to seat massages, you've got the minibar and all that sort of thing that everyone else has. But we've got things that nobody has, and I can guarantee you. And the one thing about Bufori, we never say no to a customer's request. So we'll do whatever we have to do to achieve it. These are not just beautiful cars, they're as much about function as they are about form. They perform, they outperform any other car on the road. The Geneva is probably the fastest four-door saloon you will ever drive, and one of the most fuel efficient and environmentally friendly vehicles you'll ever drive. 500 horsepower, and they do 0 to 100 with 4 adults on board in under 6 seconds, and you can achieve that yourself by driving it. This is a new model Bufori called the Bufori CS. It's a club sport car. It has a 717 horsepower engine, 1,000 Newton meters of torque. It's very fast. It has brakes, the size of the wheels on most cars, 15-inch brakes, monoblock calipers. It's got, I don't want to bore you with the specs of this vehicle, but it is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's really a challenger for the supercar performance cars. The only thing stopping its acceleration will be grip, or known as traction. So that's a little bit about Bufori. We've been in Malaysia now for a very long time. We're committed to what we do. I love what Lebanon is trying to do. I think you're very ambitious. And if there's anything I can do to be a part of, bringing some industries back to Lebanon, it would be an absolute pleasure for me to do that. If I can just ask, I've got a couple of minutes to go. Just run the video one more time, if you don't mind.
شباب فينا نعيد الفيديو بليز. معليك قبل ما توصل قررنا نهاجر. أنا
Just in conclusion, the one unique thing about a Bufori is the invisible is as beautiful as the visible. And that's really a statement that is very, very difficult to beat. So not only the things that you see, but the things you don't see. You dismantle this car, and underneath that beautiful skin is actually it's spectacular, to say the least. These cars are also made out of the most innovative material known to man, and that's a material known as carbon fiber and Kevlar. Carbon fiber and Kevlar, carbon fiber is typically used in Formula One cars. Kevlar is used in bullet-resistant vests. And we've basically taken, and these are our own products, we've taken these products, merged them together, and we get the best of both worlds. And that's really what Bufuri is all about. Innovation at its absolute best. I think it's undoubtedly, it's unquestionable that we're the best handmade car on planet Earth. There's no doubt about that. And you've got to see these cars to appreciate the beauty and the glory. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you. معاليك نحن الهجرة كان هدفها أنه في مجموعة شغور اللبنانية عاملة مشروع رائع بنيجيريا اسمه أكو أتلانتيك سيتي. بس كرمال هيك حابين لبنان كتير. ساندرا شهاب سيدة لبنانية وجودها الأساسي بشركة انفيديا المتخصصة بالجرافيكس والذكاء الاصطناعي منه إلا جزء صغير من إنجازاتها. LDE خبرينا أكثر عنه.
Thank you. So I actually, Sandra Chiav, I'm the president of the Lebanese American Association and also global account manager with NVIDIA. I had the distinct honor of hosting our honorable and His Excellency Gibran Bassil in September at NVIDIA, and wanted to show you a little bit of what we shared with him as well. So NVIDIA was founded in 1993, mainly as a gaming, and it wasn't even, it didn't even exist at that time. And today, gaming is used by over a billion people. In 1999, we invented the GPU graphics processing unit that basically defined modern computing today. Later, that GPU brought parallel computing, and it's basically solving for the unsolvable. So you can see the GPU, and down below there's a GE scanner. Using our technology, it's reducing radiation by up to 82%. Every single car manufacturer, and I hope Bufuri will come on board, uses our technology for autonomous driving, so self-driving cars. 10 out of the 10 supercomputers in the world leverage our technology today. We announced the DGX, which is actually for deep learning and artificial intelligence, which is really what I wanted to focus on with you today. So basically, NVIDIA is basically conjuring up the use of graphics in Hollywood, right? So for films, oil and gas, finance, higher education, and we're accelerating the Moonshot Cancer and Research Initiative. Next year, Tesla will hit the road with a fully autonomous capability powered by NVIDIA. And our CEO was ranked in the top 10 by Harvard Business Review, and last year, NVIDIA grew by over 300% on the S&P. Let me just share a quick video with you now.
It all starts with our power to imagine. Bringing the future we dreamed to life in amazing new ways. Stories that take us to far-off worlds. Brilliant ideas that leap off the screen. And incredible new adventures around every corner. Imagination has unlocked the promise of AI, where robots help us build a better future, give us a helping hand, and even entertain us. Imagination fuels new breakthroughs in autonomous vehicles, letting us take to the road without taking the wheel, delivering the world to our doorstep, and driving our competitive spirit. Imagination powers exciting new discoveries to accelerate the cure for cancer. Give the deaf a new voice. And help the injured become whole again. Our imagination opens up amazing new worlds. NVIDIA brings them to life with AI computing that turns visionary ideas into life-changing innovation and sparks our sense of wonder about what comes next.
So there's basically 4 key areas that we focus on, right? So gaming, within virtual reality, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and mixed reality. The data center, so as I mentioned, every query that is made goes through some sort of artificial intelligence, and in fact, 1 out of every 5 queries are made from phone, so voice, to make the queries. And then, of course, the self-driving cars, all powered by GPU. So 1/5, as I mentioned, leverage from voice to phone. You can shop, and then I'm sure everyone watches Netflix, and you see a lot of the recommendations. That's all part of artificial intelligence as well. So the big data, Facebook, over 350 million images are uploaded per day. Look at YouTube, 300 hours of video are uploaded every minute. All of those queries, right? Why is deep learning and artificial intelligence becoming more and more popular given the amount of data? The more data we have, the more we're able to query. GPU, so within artificial intelligence and deep learning, there's something called, what we have is machine learning, and it's all based on algorithms. If basically looking at layers, so you start with like edges and then shapes, and you layer upon layer. For humans, it's easy for us to recognize a face, but computers can't do that, okay? So as you layer upon layer upon layer, it starts to recognize those images, and then as you can see, it starts to pull out, and for the first time just last year, the computer was able to recognize a girl eating cake, sitting at a table with a bow. I mean, this is really quite incredible. A lot of the amazing achievements in AI. Go, actually just last year, first time a computer beat a human. There are more variabilities for the game of Go than there are atoms. It's just incredible to think about. If you look at learning and paint style, recognizing paints and artists, synthesizing voice and tonation, down at the learning the motor skills. Or learning to drive a car, it's not a mathematical equation on how to drive a car, right? It's skill-based. So the more you leverage and you do the skills, the better that you get. Learning to walk, right? So it's something that we call reinforcement learning and motor skills. And then the kinematics of robots, right? So again, learning to walk. All of this is not possible without leveraging graphics processing units and the GPU.
Sandra, can you please tell us in 30 seconds about LAA, because we already exceeded the time.
I actually want to focus on why it's important for Lebanon, the 2 key initiatives. And keep going. Okay, so there are 2 things that I really wanted to focus on. One is, how do we leverage the programs that we have at NVIDIA with the incubation program? We offer $100,000 for startups that are focused on artificial intelligence and deep learning. And when young students ask me today, what should I focus? This is the next generation. This is really the 4th industrial revolution. This distinguished panels talked a lot about these startups and what they're offering, but we really need to focus on how do we leverage. So we do offer up to $100,000, and they're granted deep learning expertise. There's hardware, there's software, there's marketing to help promote the companies. So this is, I think, an incredible opportunity. and universities, right? Where do we start with engineering and instilling CUDA? These are the programs. This is CUDA based, which is actually for GPU, right, and programming. And so really starting at the universities today and having students demand, right, we want, obviously it's the best education in Lebanon, but we want the latest and greatest in order to be competitive with other companies and students out there. So the LAA has been around for 27 years, and so I'm currently president of the organization. So thank you.
Thank you. للتوضيح انه ال LDE بتساعد التلاميذ اللبنانيه اللي موجودين بامريكا حسب ما فهمت اذا كنت فهمانه صح. Yes, thank you. بعتقد كل التجار اللي موجودين معنا بهيدي القاعة عندهم شيء يشكروا عليه مسيو ميشيل فلاح، وهو مؤسس ورئيس مجلس إدارة شركة تراكسون واخترع سمارت كونتينرز.
Je suis Michel Fallah, président fondateur de Traxens, qui offre des technologies de suivi de conteneurs. Cette solution utilise un boîtier qui est posé sur le conteneur pour toute la durée de vie du conteneur, ce qui va permettre d'indiquer à tout le monde en temps réel où se trouve le conteneur, dans quel état se trouve la marchandise qui est dans ce conteneur, si le conteneur a été ouvert ou pas, au bon endroit ou pas. On a développé ce boîtier avec 3 ans d'avance, à un moment où certaines technologies présentes dans ce boîtier n'étaient pas encore diffusées dans le grand public. On avait des technologies relativement avant-gardistes, dans la mesure où ce boîtier devait offrir les consommations les plus faibles possibles. Donc nous avons travaillé sur des microprocesseurs de dernière génération et nous allons travailler pour qu'à partir de 2019, on puisse mettre sur le marché une nouvelle race de boîtiers qui va nous permettre de produire non plus 200 000 boîtiers par an, mais de l'ordre de 2 millions de boîtiers par an.
When you are importing or exporting, it can be hard to know what's happening to your cargo. No one person has total visibility of the whole trip, and you and your providers can spend a lot of time and money chasing information. Delays and accidents happen, and you may not find out until it's too late to recover. Lack of visibility means uncertainty. Uncertainty means keeping more inventory. More inventory means cost. But there is a better way. You can now choose to move your goods in a smart container. A smart container is a dumb container with added electronics from Traxons. Smart containers are available in all types and sizes. A smart container knows a lot. When it's cold and when it's hot. When it's on time and when it's not. If the doors have been opened unexpectedly. Where it's from, where it is, and where it's going. And if there is a bump, it knows when and where. And it can send all this and more to TraxHub in the cloud, so that you have all the information you need from a single source. And you don't need to spend your time checking. Because the smart container can alert you when something important happens. But that's not all. There is more. You can choose to channel information directly to the right people to get the best performance within your organization, and directly to your providers so that they can increase coordination and drive down their costs. And with shorter transit times and real-time warning of disruption, you can control your inventory like never before. But that's not all. There is more. All the information from your stock in transit can be directly sent to your information systems, which means that when accidents happen, the impact on your operations is known in real time, and contingency plans can be triggered. But that's not all. There is more. When you take a big data view of all your transport activity using smart containers over time, you can see where improvements can be made, identify best practices and share them, track KPIs, and complete the digital transformation of your supply chain. If we had to resume in just 5 words what smart containers means to you, we would say real data for logistics excellence. Traxons.
مرحبا. كان لازم أتكلم بالعربي بس ما تواخذوني، ما بقدر اشرح افكاري بالعربي لانه صرنا زمان عم نكبرها بالتكنولوجي فرنساوي ولا انجليزي، لكن بدي اكمل بالفرنساوي اذا بتريدوا. Nous avons développé Traxens et avons focalisé sur un marché qui est global, c'est un marché mondial. La logistique, c'est un des plus vieux métiers du monde, probablement le 2e plus vieux métier du monde. Il concerne pratiquement un individu sur 10 sur Terre. Donc c'est dire que l'on adresse un marché gigantesque. Nous avons démarré ce concept il y a 5 ans. Pour le mettre en place, nous avons dû développer d'une part des technologies disruptives pour que l'on puisse mettre ces devices sur les conteneurs pour la durée de vie du conteneur. Mais nous avons dû également développer des partenariats commerciaux extrêmement importants pour pouvoir faire de notre solution un standard mondial. Aujourd'hui, définitivement, c'est le cas. Nous avons quasiment 50% des acteurs du marché global qui sont déjà clients et actionnaires de Traxens. Nous recrutons actuellement entre 1 et 3 ingénieurs tous les mois. Les uns sont spécialisés de l'électronique, d'autres sont spécialisés dans la mécanique, d'autres dans la logistique, d'autres dans le commerce international, d'autres dans le big data et l'intelligence artificielle. Le plus important, c'est que cette aventure de Traxens s'est faite parce que, en tant que Libanais, j'ai été aidé par un des plus grands entrepreneurs libanais de nos jours, et qui est Jacques Sadé, qui est le fondateur de la CMA-CGM. Non seulement il a accepté de sponsoriser ce projet, mais il a accepté également que ses concurrents, en particulier aujourd'hui MSC, qui est le second plus grand armateur au monde, viennent nous rejoindre au sein de Traxens pour que l'on puisse créer le standard mondial auquel nous sommes en train de prétendre. Nous sommes en fin de compte en train d'adresser un marché de 10 milliards de dollars par an. Nous ne serons pas des dizaines, nous ne serons pas tout seuls non plus. Nous serons probablement 3 ou 4 entreprises maximum. C'est dire le développement qu'il y a en face de nous. Voilà, je crois qu'il y a beaucoup de choses à faire avec le Liban. Je suis à votre disposition pour en rediscuter.
Merci beaucoup. Merci. ولا حتى يقدر مسيو ميشيل يكون عم بيوظف مهندسين ويكون عم بيوظف شباب عندهم خبرات عالية. نحن بحاجة لكل شيء يتعلق بالتعليم الجامعي، ولكن حضرتك دكتور حسين زعيتر متخصص بموضوع الطاقة المتجددة.
الشركة اللي بنشتغل فيها نحن متخصصة بالطاقة المتجددة وبشكل خاص بالطاقة الشمسية. الهيد كوارتر تبع الشركة موجود في مدريد في إسبانيا، وحديثا فتحنا فرع في المكسيك. بدي أحاول يعني أختصر 5 دقائق أو أقل إذا بدي أخلص فيها. The energy nowadays, you know, everybody, that is the motor of our life, you know, and so not only the energy, the renewable energy, what we need, you know, today to develop it. Sorry. Okay. The surface area required really to support the world only by solar energy, maybe it's about the surface of Spain. It's 500,000 square kilometer. And with this surface, we can power the whole world. Please, second one. The evolution of the solar power, really, from 2000 up to now, you can see here, yes. And up to 2015, we have only about 230 gigawatt, okay? And by 2016, we're up to 330 gigawatt. And 330 gigawatts is nothing, really. The projection, the next one, please. And yes, the projection of, no, the one before, yes, no? Okay, okay. This is the evolution you can see here in these slides, you know, as exponential growth. Okay, from 2005 up to 2016. And the question is why this almost exponential growth? This depends on three main factors, really. The next one, please. Next. Okay, this is the levelized cost of energy. It's decreased exponentially. This is the first factor. The second factor, and the most important one for my point of view, is the government policies. The government policies like, for example, net metering, feed-in tariff, tax policies, all these policies, I have the recent example is Mexico. Mexico, right now, maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they start with this kind of policies. They had the resource. This is one of the best resource, solar resource. They had it 10 years, 20 years, and maybe 100 years ago, but they didn't develop anything in this field. The cost of energy, of solar energy, decreased exponentially, maybe in 2012. Okay, in 2012, and the cost of energy of kilowatt hour, for example, it was €6 per kilowatt hour. And in 2012 or 13, the cost of kilowatt hour, it was about 50 cents. But they didn't develop anything. And when they start to develop and make policies, government policies, they now, for example, they start to develop this kind of energy. And this is the most important one. Most important, the resource itself. The projection of solar PV in 2030, you can see it in China, for example, the first post China, then United States, India, and the others 266 gigawatts. You can see here Lebanon, for example. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, thank you. Next, please. Lebanon, solar PV in Lebanon, for example. The surface area we need in Lebanon is about 11 square kilometer to power Lebanon. The electricity, I mean, only electricity. The resource in Lebanon, yes, this is 11 square kilometer. And the best resource, we have it in the Bekaa Valley. Okay? This is, for example, the generation power profile of Lebanon. It's basically depend on oil. 26% of the electrical consumption is in industry. 38% is residential. We have more consumption in residential than industry. Right? Next one, please. This is for example, a little simulation about the problem that we have in Lebanon. We have the generation on one side and the loads or demands on other sides. We have less generation than the load, than the demand. That's why always we have cutting, we have no electricity. Okay, next one. In this slide, we can see, for example, we can act on generation or in loads, on the demand part. If we act in the generation part, we have to develop a big plant of solar energy. And this is a little problem for Lebanon. I think the situation in Lebanon is not possible for the maybe the problem, I mean, in security. No, from my point of view, it's better to act on the demand part. And demand part, I mean the distributed energy, to incentive the distributed energy. This is, I think, this will contribute to solve the problem that we have here in Lebanon. Next one, yes? Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
شكرا كثير. وفي بيناتنا وزير سابق هو بلبنان صار مشهور بأنه صانع الفرص والداعم الأول لانخراط الشباب اللبناني بمجال التكنولوجيا. ثانك يو. الوزير السابق نقولها صحناوي.
Thank you, غنيم. My speech is a closing speech, so I'm going to try and summarize for the expat community, المغتربين. First, we're very happy that you're coming to Lebanon on the LDE. Hopefully you come also on other occasions. And the LDE is becoming more and more success, a big success. I hope every day it would double in size like it has been for the last 3 years. So more specifically for the tech sector, for the digital economy, the knowledge economy, the fourth revolution, I'm going to try and summarize how you can help, how you can partner, how you can help your country. We saw in the panel great success stories, great ideas of Lebanese successful abroad. We saw a little bit what the ecosystem in Lebanon is offering, and the ecosystem in Lebanon is vibrant, having more and more opportunities, financing capabilities, fantastic inventors and creators. But how can we bridge between this fantastic network of the Lebanese community abroad and this vibrant energy of the Lebanese creators, inventors, entrepreneurs here in Lebanon? What I have to say about this is one, you as an expat, as a diaspora, the Lebanese diaspora, you have to believe in Lebanon. And whatever you want us to show you about the capabilities of our young engineers, of our young startup entrepreneurs, we can show you the best. And we believe we have the best in the world. We have the best in the world that have ideas in the making, and we have the best in the world with ideas that are already success stories, and we have the best in the world with companies that are making it globally. And I believe we have a unicorn that will soon be known all over the world, that will be coming out of Lebanon. So you must, one, believe, trust in the capabilities of the Lebanese people. Two, you must know that the best doorway to the Middle East, to the 300 million consumers, is Lebanon. So if you have a company abroad that wants to come to the Middle East to sell products to these 300 million customers, users, use Lebanon as a doorway. Because the best people who are able to match between the Western culture and language and the Arabic custom, language and culture is the Lebanese mind. So these are two things. Three, as one of the panelists mentioned, use Lebanon as a back office. because of the talent base and the skills we have in Lebanon, and if you like this bridge that we built as the local community and you as an expat community, try to base your back office in Lebanon and have, of course, your network all around the world. And this is a very successful model, and a lot of companies are using this model, and Multilane, Fadi was the first panelist. He explained a little bit the success he's having with this type of model. So the fourth way you can help, and this will be my closing point. The fourth way you can help is help the Lebanese companies, startups, with their services, their products, be their ambassadors, be their distribution companies around the world with your network of contacts. Because if you want to help, of course, this will be a commercial deal. You will make money out of it. You will make fees. You will make partnerships. But the idea is you have a fantastic network. You are our network, but each of you have his own fantastic network of opening doors, of high C-level executives, CEOs all around the world, that for a Lebanese company, the access to this kind of network is almost impossible. So this is where we can partner. And I'll tell you a story. I went a few months back to Silicon Valley with some startups. We landed in Silicon Valley. We had meetings with some of the Lebanese experts there who have made it successfully. And through this network, under 2 days, we were sitting with the number 2 executive at Google, who's Lebanese. We were sitting through a successful Lebanese entrepreneur with Marvel. Marvel, because one of the companies has to do with entertainment, digital entertainment, and the digital interface. So this is a fantastic network that you can help open for the Lebanese here, for the startups here, because you are already established there, successful there, and each of you has part of this network. So this is how we can help each other. This is how we can build commercial ties. And of course, it can extend to cultural exchange and to entertainment, to anything. But the basis of it is to make successful business model between you and us. And thank you for attending. I want to take this opportunity to thank the team who organized the conference, Eli, and the team of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you.
أنا بتشكرك على اختصار التوصيات اللي صارت بالبانل. رح نفتح المجال للأسئلة. بدي أعذبكم كل شخص اللي بيحبوا يسألوا أكيد يعرفنا عن نفسه ويحدد لمين سؤال عم ينطرح. Questions. كله واضح؟ تفضل مسيو. شكرا لحضرتك.
My name. Thank you. My name is Michel Napti. I'm from El Koura originally. Spent most of my life in the US, based in California Bay Area, Stanford University. I traveled the world, and probably I covered most of the countries where the Lebanese present here from around the world may have affiliation or lived there. I crossed Latin America from California to Chile, over to Argentina, up to Brazil, to the Amazon country, ended up in Cuba for 8 months by land, no car. I found travel mates along the way. Anyway, this meeting has been a wonderful meeting, whether it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully better with time. The presence of the Lebanese globally put an important responsibility on the Lebanese at home, number 1, and the Lebanese around the world equally. It is more impressive, most impressive, the achievements of the Lebanese around the world. And my wife, Patricia, even by encouragement and support and participation, she wrote her doctoral dissertation on Lebanese migration to the world. that's another story.
Thank you for that.
One moment.
Do you have a question
one
that
more
you would
minute.
like? Yes.
One more minute, please.
Okay.
To his دولة الرئيس, دولة الوزير جبران باسيل, and all of us, supporters, admirers, critics, all together, residents of Lebanon and around the world, to create a global council, environmental global council, with not only Lebanese, but with at least one international or two for each continent, non-Lebanese, to work together on the global image and sufferings of the globe. The globe is screaming out,
True.
you are killing me. Please help me out. Save me. Don't do what we did in Lebanon. The land we are standing and talking now is not natural land, is rubbled to gain more square meters. Lebanon is severely injured with environmental interferences, from the air to the soil to the concrete.
Thank you so much.
I think every bag of concrete.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleased to have you here. Thank you so much. Questions? The lady in the back, please.
بونسوار، اسمي كوثر شيا، وعندي سؤال للأستاذ دكتور كريم. لما كنت عم تحكي عن environmental project بلبنان، فيك تقلنا شوي شو قصة السدود اللي عاملينها عم يعملوها بلبنان وبدهم يقصوا أكثر من ما بعرف 1000 شجرة؟ ميرسي.
الحقيقة ما حكيت عن environmental، بس إذا بدك احكي بحكي. بس هذا موضوع مش ضمن اختصاصي، وبالتالي ما بعرف إذا في حدا على البانل بهذا الموضوع له علاقة فيه يقدر يجاوب على هذه المسألة. بس ما حكيت، بأكد لك ما حكيت عن الموضوع. أنا environmental؟ لا كمان.
هو متخصص بالكمبيوتر والقانون الدولي.
أنا محامي.
بتكنولوجيا.
لا أكيد مش عيب، بس مش مجالي. يعني أنا محامي وما بتعدى على اختصاص غيري، إذا في حدا بالقاعة بهذا الاختصاص يمكن لازم هو يجاوب على هذا السؤال.
خلينا ننحصر بموضوع التكنولوجيا والبرزنتيشنز اللي اعطيتون. هل في سؤال آخر يتعلق بهذا الموضوع؟ يعني شفنا برزنتيشنز لمشاريع للبنانية، شفنا توصيات بتتعلق بالطلب من المغتربين إنه يكونوا عم يعملوا ريكروتمنت ضمن الطلاب اللبنانية. هل في أي استيضاح؟ اي جوفرمنت، امبارح كان في مؤتمر عنا واليوم في مؤتمر عنا، بس هل في حدا منكم؟ كريم؟ أو يو.
That's a good question, because obviously it's a very important subject. It's actually UMSAR, the Ministry of State Administrative Reform, that takes care of the e-government. And they've launched a huge national strategy. And in fact, yesterday and today, they were holding a two-day-long conference at the Sarai to launch the strategy. So it's a strategy that's underway, and the government is working on it.
And we will have the conclusion today at 5, I guess. على هيدا بليز.
أنا رح أحكي بس على development part. اليوم وزارة الصحة عندها application، رح يصير عندها بعد 2 application. I don't know if هيدا answers government part. أوكي، بإمكانك اليوم باستعمالك الآب تتشكى أو تخبر وتبلغ وزارة الصحة عن أي شيء بتشوفه أو إذا تسممت أو صار معك شيء. كمان الجيش اللبناني صار عنده application، نحن also عاملينها. واليوم إذا بدك مثل ما حكينا وزارة الخارجية صار عندها application. So نحن ندعم الام government أو الاي government ونحن جاهزين لأي help. Thanks.
Thank you ماريو. تفضل.
My question, my name is Salim Bitar. My question is about the Beirut Digital District. Are there any specific concrete plans on enhancing the ICT infrastructure there? When is it? If you're going to set something up, do we know exactly when that enhancement is going to happen? The bandwidth is a significant issue. That's number one. Number two, are there any specific government incentives that will apply to investing and establishing enterprise in that area?
On the first one, the main thing that we're happy to announce that since last year, the government activated the fiber optics network and as a testing facility, and it's rolling it out to all of Lebanon. And the whole idea is to transform Lebanon by connecting it through digital highways being the high bandwidth of fiber optics. So we have it, and the speed is being reliable, upload, download, whatever speed that the company requests. So it's multiplication of E1s, and we have some companies that have up to 100 megabits download, upload that is always constant, and that's what we like to see in Lebanon. Now, the rollout is taking time, but it is happening. So that happened last year. We started 4 years ago. This did not stop every entrepreneur in growing during the first 3 years, and that's why I said this is the start, and once the digital highways are created, it will only be an exponential growth. So that's on the first. The second, when we, as a private sector initiative, with the support of the government who acted as a facilitator, the main thing that we requested is digital, because the infrastructure, which is the fiber optics, but we also asked subsidized rate for the companies, not only for BDD, and that's where the discounted rate to become competitive to the region. And this is where we see it's a must that the government lowers the fees of internet the soonest possible. So on that aspect, it is not only lowering, but multiplying the speeds at the same rate so that it does not affect the income for the government. And this is what we propose from day one. On the third, as subsidies, what we do, we as a private sector, as ZRE, support these companies and taking the hassle of all formalities, which increases their productivity, and focus on their core idea, which is follow up with Ministry of Finance, municipality, Ojero, Telecom, EDL, Daman. Everything that is for a company to come set up in Lebanon is a hassle. We tell her, come set up. We also help on the legal, accounting, auditing, all at discounted rates. Come, we'll take care of these, all of this hassle. Focus on your core idea, and let us take care of the rest. And that's how we help them to grow. And once they grow, we grow with them.
Thank you, محمد. السؤال الأخير. تفضل.
Okay, thank you. My name is Pierre. I'm from Lebanon, Zahle, but I've lived in Sweden for 37 years. So I'm an IT engineer within innovation and stuff like that, imaging and so. The problem that we have in Scandinavia or Europe is that when we look at the Middle East, we look at Lebanon as it was previously, the hub for the Middle East. But today, nobody thinks of Lebanon as the hub. So there is a lot of groundwork to do. The people who has tried to do business with Lebanon, they haven't faced fraud and difficulties to do things. If you make a simple pestle analysis, looking at the political issues and the economic issues and legal issues, Lebanon will come on a second or third place. They will prefer Dubai or other places. So since I love Lebanon, my blood is Lebanese, and I would like to do something, and there's a lot of investors who would like to come here, how can you help us? How can you protect us as foreigner investors who would like to do something here and utilize everything that Lebanon stands for, which could be a hub, a doorway to the Middle East? We would like to hear why. How?
If you allow me, on the first one, which is the Dubai model versus Lebanon, what I said is what we need. Dubai has definitely invested in infrastructure throughout the last 25 years. And they have leaped forward, and it's currently on the international scene to have access to regional market. But what you're seeing, Dubai is becoming very expensive for entrepreneurs, for companies, to be able to hire good talent. What you have here in Lebanon is the talent. And what you can, as a company, is to benefit from employing the talent in Lebanon. And that's why we said the model is to produce in Lebanon and then sell to the region. You might have a small sales representative's office to access to some market, but the production and the creativity is based on talent. And the people that you have is in Lebanon. And it will cost much less for a company coming from abroad by employing the Lebanese here rather than employing in Dubai, which is mostly people, Lebanese working and other nationalities, employ here. It will be more cost effective, and then perhaps you might have regional sales offices to cover not only Dubai, but even Africa, Europe, or the Americas. So this is the model. On the others, I let others in the government perhaps answer on the protection that's happening for foreign direct investments.
Ghanim, I suggest you take the last two questions and I answer everyone.
Yeah.
I think that the question was more about trust than operations, I think.
Okay. Hello, my name is Bashir Tabbara. I think that one of the problems that we have in Lebanon is is image. Okay, when we talk about telecom, for example, how can you explain that the rates for international calls in Lebanon are one of the most expensive around the world when we want to try to set up this place as a hub, basically? I mean, we have to show that we are up to, to technology, to what the world is arriving to, and look, today you look at international rates, and it's crazy.
Any other questions? Are we? Yeah, you have a question? Yeah. Last question with you. ختامة مسك.
أنا ماني بالنيو تكنولوجي بس سؤال بديهي. It is said that in 2030, 70% of the job of today will not exist. We don't know if the hairdresser the coiffeur will remain or it will be a robot. We will have sex with a robot and it seems it's more pleasurable than a human being. So my question is the following. You belong to a breed of innovator while our students are still learning the plus que parfait du subjonctif and تاريخ لبنان بقلعة رشية وغيره. في شيء تواصل بينكم وبين السيستم الأكاديميك اللبناني هل يتأقلم يعلم شيء اليوم ويدل يعمل orientation على job opportunities of tomorrow? Is there a link between your world and the educational world?
Fadi, you want to answer something?
Yeah, I'd like to answer this. It's a great question, and I do agree with you. The current academic programs in Lebanon have not evolved with the needs of the modern technology, modern economics, the evolution. And that's a major effort that needs to happen. From our side, multi-lane or the holding, which is HTP holding, we have inactive applied training projects or program that we're working with multiple Lebanese universities where we are working together to develop complementary curricula that focuses more on applied training. And for that, we will be training or getting ready a number of the graduating students so that they can be directly relevant and applicable in the industry. And we're in parallel, we're working with the faculty. So some of the training that we're developing percolates down to the classroom and the special relevant projects. But those are specifically within the engineering team, effectively preparing the workforce to be more productive once they graduate. And we're setting up, in addition to that, a physical facility, which is an applied training center that will be able to absorb a few hundred engineers per year that will get them ready. And effectively, the objective of that would be their effectiveness in work post-graduation will go from 1 to 3x. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Partly.
Do we know what are the jobs that will disappear tomorrow?
Of course, the jobs that are disappearing in the US, the fastest will be, as everyone talks, are the bus drivers, the delivery trucks, the cab drivers. Those are becoming with self-driven vehicles. And all the jobs that are taking their place are the engineers that are sitting behind the computer developing the artificial intelligence needed to operate this modern system. And if you scale that and you look into the overall concept, it's tremendously expanding. I mentioned briefly, although my time was very short, on data center requirements. Today, let's say in the high-tech industry, there's a huge shortage of engineers that need to be formed properly to drive and be able to fund or back this evolution. And I believe Lebanon, especially based on my experience, is specially primed to succeed if we do the proper implementation. We have a great advantage in terms of the knowledge base of the education of the team that are working. Most people are multilinguals. The rate that you pay to an engineer is lower than that of India today in Lebanon. So all of you who have operational or operating operations in anywhere in the world, Lebanon can be a lot more economical. And we have been able to succeed. An example is where we stand. There is an opportunity to continuously double, especially in the data center. Again, in the data center market, which is a $100 billion market that's continuously evolving. And we haven't really scratched the surface, and there's plenty of opportunity to create jobs in Lebanon in that area.
Sorry, I was giving you the microphone because they couldn't hear you.
Excellent question, but just one reminder, it's a challenge, it's a global challenge. There's no country on the planet who is not asking itself the same question, and there is no answer. The planet has no answer, because all prediction of scientists say 20, 30 years from now, 50% of the jobs or the professions will disappear. So, and they don't know exactly if it's 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. Nobody knows exactly, and nobody knows exactly which kind of job will disappear and at what rate. So it's a global challenge. We have challenges that are, we're not there yet. Our challenge is to get more computer education into schools, into universities. I think we're aware of that. The decision-making process in Lebanon, as you know, is terrible between Council of Ministers, communities, various communities and interests, and parliament. And that brings me to the next question, to the previous question, sorry, which is the image of Lebanon, the perception of Lebanon, and how Lebanon can be a hub, okay? So one, it needs a leap of faith. It will not happen if you come and scientifically you look at the ranking of Lebanon on internet speed. For sure, you will not use Lebanon as a hub. But some people have this leap of faith, and we have some sitting in the room, and it worked miraculously for them. They are doing wonders. I don't know if you heard the figures of multi-lane, but it's mind-blowing, okay? And if you go and visit the BDD, Beirut Digital District, which I advise you to do, you will have a lot of faith in the country and what can be done in the country. Because in this area specifically, you will feel like you are in Silicon Valley. You will forget what's happening outside of this place. And the dynamics between the startups and the links they did and the way they are selling globally from Beirut is really encouraging. What we are telling you is some things are slow, some things are not good, but some things are amazing. Some things happening here are amazing. Like, for example, the 331 circular that subsidized 75% of the investment, the venture capital investment of the funds in startups. And it's an envelope of $500 million, which is not a small number. It puts us at par with Israel, maybe ahead of Dubai. A lot of good things happen in Lebanon and are happening in Lebanon. I can say because I'm really one of the architects and I'm in the middle of it. And we have what it takes to have fantastic success stories, beautiful exits, and fantastic business models that can replicate itself. Okay, so, but we should start with believing in the country, in the people, in our own capabilities, and not wait for the government to do one or B or C. The government is pulling its act together, as the advisor of the Prime Minister just said. Fiber is going to be rolled out under 1 year. Legislative amendments are being prepared, and a lot of things have been done previously by previous administrations, as Karim and Muhammad mentioned. Thank you.
Hadi, you had something you wanted to add? كان عندك شيء حابب تزيده؟
I wanted to further comment. In our current business today, relative to trust or image, we service every high-tech company in the world that is in a data center. As a matter of fact, Amazon sends samples of the products that they want to deploy in their data center to Lebanon, so we qualify them before they deploy them in hyperscale data centers today. Apple does the same thing. So we do not have an image. It's based, the world is flat, and we have a great opportunity to compete at every level. And it just takes a leap of faith, as Prime Minister said. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. أكيد رح يبقى لكم وقت لحتى تتحدثوا مع بعض خلال الغداء، وشكرا كثير على مشاركتكم. Thank you.